Welcome to the Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship in this new digital economy. People from all walks of life, students, professionals, and online entrepreneurs, direct sellers, online dropshippers are now looking for innovative ways and means to maximize the power of this new digital economy and learn from home and earn from home as well. Remember that there are three critical success factors for you to be successful in this new digital economy. Number one is your entrepreneurial mindset. Number two, your entrepreneurial mastery. And number three is your entrepreneurial management. Three questions that you have to ask yourself. What are you passionate about? Number two, what are the relative skills that you have in this new economy? And number three, what do you think are the expectations of your partners or your clients or your customers? We at the Academy offer you valuable masterclass courses that will develop you and hone you to become a champion entrepreneur online. We want you to become a digital brand in this new economy. So click the link below and learn more about the 4 masterclass courses that we offer in entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurial management, digital entrepreneurship, and digital selling. So again, I'm your coach, Jonathan Petalver of the Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship in this new digital economy. Welcome and see you in class.
All right, good morning once again. Good morning, America. This is your Coach Jonathan Petalver. And of course, with us tonight once again to discuss what leadership purpose is all about after we discuss leadership mindset and belief. Let's all welcome once again our coach, our mentor, Gary Smith. How are you, Gary?
Hey, very good evening to you, Jonathan. It's a bright sunny morning here on the East Coast of the United States, and it's just a joy to be with you and to be with our
Great.
students again.
Great. So I know this is going to be another, very great 30-minute discussion. So for those of us watching, please key in your questions as our mentor, Gary Smith, welcomes us on our topic, leadership purpose. Come on, Gary, let's start.
Very, very good, very good. So this is episode 3 of season 4, and today we're going to be talking about purpose. But let's back up just very, very quickly, because the way we have structured the teaching for these sessions is that it's a building block process. So for those of you who have not watched episodes 1 and 2, please take the time afterwards to go back and watch those episodes. In episode 1, we talked about mindset, which is nothing more than the set of your mind. And it initially is, how do you view yourself? Because how you view yourself determines how you feel about your capabilities to create the future that you're looking for, but it also impacts how others see you. I liken mindset to making a loaf of bread. So if you make a loaf of bread and you're mixing the dough and you've put the yeast in, you put the mixture in a bowl, you put the lid on the bowl, and you set it in the sunshine so that the yeast will rise. Well, as it does, if you leave it long enough, the bread will rise and it will push the top off of the container. And that's what happens in the world that we live in. Your mindset spills over onto others, and it affects their view and their perception of you. So that was session 1. In session 2, we talked about choices and how choices cause us to take actions, and the actions that we take produce results, and they have an impact. But if we're not producing the results and not having the impact that we want, we really have to go back and we have to examine our belief system. What is it that we believe? And we need to uncover the limiting beliefs that we have, and then make a decision, make changes to those beliefs so that they become beliefs that serve us. In session 3 today, we're going to talk about the power of purpose. And because purpose is extremely important for all of us. So let me set the framework or give you some context for the discussion we're going to have today. One of the things, to my wife's dismay, is that I love to have conversations with people. You know, my wife is a very much back of the room person. I tend to be a very front of the room person. So we have some differences there. But I love to talk with people wherever I go. And when I'm having a conversation with a new person that I've met, one of the first things that always comes up in conversations is, so what is it that you do for a living? And people will always tell me, I'm an electrician, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm a lawyer, whatever the case may be. And as the conversation progresses, I'll eventually get to a point of asking, so how do you do what it is that you do? We have a young couple who moved in next door to us about a year ago. And a few weeks after they moved in, he and I both happened to be taking our garbage cans out to the sidewalk at the same time. And so I introduced myself and I asked him, what do you do? And he said, I'm an electrician. I said, well, gee, how do you do that? And he said, well, I'm an industrial electrician. So my job is to troubleshoot machinery and make sure that electrically the machines are working properly. And we talked a little bit about that. But then what I do sometimes is I will ask the next question, which sort of catches people off balance. And it's like, okay, well, I understand what you do. I understand a little bit about how you do it, but tell me, why do you do what you do? And when I ask that question, fully 70% of the people have no idea. I get a lot of deer in the headlights kinds of looks, or I get, things like, well, I never really thought about that. About 20% of the people will try to give me some sort of answer, but it's really not an adequate explanation for why they do what they do. I mean, they'll say things like, well, my father was a doctor, so therefore I am. Or they'll say, well, hey, you got to do something to make a living, right? And so then it leaves that 10%. And the 10% who can answer that question accurately are the ones who are living fulfilled lives. And so it's interesting because when people don't give me a good answer to that question, then I'll ask the next question, which is, well, tell me, do you really enjoy what you do? Are you passionate about your work? Do you really get fulfillment? Do you have enjoyment in life because of the work that you do? And it amazes me that 80% of the people say, no, I hate my job. And when that happens, I sit back and I say, okay, you've told me what you do. You've told me how you do it. You really don't know why you do it, and you're not happy doing it. So that begs the question, why are you doing it, and what are you going to do to change that? And that's what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about purpose, that why behind the things that we do. And I believe that there are two purposes. There's a global purpose and there is an individual purpose. And by that, I mean, when we think about global purpose, I think that each and every one of us, if we really dig deep and think about it, we really do want the world to be a better place. We want to have an impact. We want to leave a legacy. And when we die, we want to feel that the world is just a little bit better place because we have been here. For those of you who are familiar with Steve Jobs at Apple Computer, there was a movie that was made about Steve Jobs that starred Ashton Kutcher. And in that movie, at the very end of the movie, Steve Jobs has let go almost every one of his board members. And he's sitting in his boardroom, and the only two people that are in the room with him are his board chairman and their corporate attorney. And the corporate attorney looks at Steve and says, so, Steve, what are we going to do now? And Steve sort of steeples his fingers, and you can see a little smile start to form at the corners of his mouth. And he says, we're going to make a dent in the universe. And that is so powerful because I think each and every one of us wants to make that little dent in the universe. Now, for some of us, that means that our purpose is we want to impact millions of people around the world. I mean, look at the fine work that Coach Jonathan is doing. He's impacting people all over the world. But for other people, all they really want to do is have a happy marriage. They want to raise their children to be responsible citizens. And that's their goal, that's their purpose. And all of us sort of fall in somewhere on a sliding scale between those 2 points. But then I believe that beyond the global purpose, I believe that we each have an individual purpose. And that's what we need to be discovering. So sometimes when I'm talking with people, they'll say, well, how do I go about discovering what my unique purpose is? Because your purpose is different than mine. So what I recommend is get 4 blank sheets of paper. And on the top of the first page, write the word passion. On the top of the second page, write the word skills. On top of the third page, write the word value. And then on the top of the fourth page, write purpose. And set all of those aside except for the sheet with passion. And I want you to spend some time thinking about all the things in life that you're passionate about, things that you really enjoy doing, things that bring you fulfillment, things that bring you joy. Now, some people will say to me, well, I'm very passionate about my work. And for those of us who are passionate, that's wonderful. I happen to be one of the people, I love doing what I do. I love impacting the lives of others. I love doing teaching sessions like this. I love interacting with people one-on-one. But when somebody comes to me and says they're passionate about their work, I say, well, okay, that's great. That's wonderful. But let me frame a scenario for you. Let's say that you're on your way home from work tonight and you stop by the convenience store to pick up a gallon of milk. And while you're there, you happen to notice on TV that the lottery tonight is a substantial amount of money. So just for fun, you buy a lottery ticket. You go home and you have dinner with your family, and afterwards you're sitting watching the news on TV, and they come up during one of the breaks and they announce the winning lottery numbers, and you find out that that lottery ticket that you have is a winner and that you just won $200 million. Here's my question for you. Tomorrow, are you going to go to work and walk into your boss's office and say, boss, I just won $200 million in the lottery last night, but I'm going to come to work every day for free because I love what I do? Or are you going to go into your boss's office tomorrow and say, I won $200 million in the lottery, here's my resignation? If you're willing to do it for free, then it's something that you're truly passionate about. So make that list of things that you're passionate about. Once you've done that, set that aside, grab another piece of paper, the one that's labeled skills, and start listing all of the skills that you have. And by that, I'm not just talking about skills that you have in the work that you do, but other skills that you have. Some people are skilled at woodworking. It's a hobby that they do. Some people are skilled in the area of electronics. Some people love to garden. They love to do landscaping. They love to grow vegetables. Whatever it is, make a list of all of the skills that you have. And then once you've done that, take the skill or the sheet with passion on it and the sheet with skill on it, put them side by side and grab the sheet called value and begin looking at what passions you have and what skills you have and how you might combine those things into a way that you can add value to your world, to your sphere of influence. And people will sometimes say, well, yeah, but I need to be able to make money. And so, yeah, I get that. And it's not that making money is a bad thing. Making money is a wonderful thing. But the first question that we have to ask is, does it serve? Does it add value? Because if it adds value, we can find a way to use it to be able to make money. And along the way, you may, in the process of adding value and creating those things that you could possibly do that are a combination of your passions and skills, you may find some skills that you need to work on, that need to be improved a little bit. Or you may find some skills that you need to develop in order to enhance your ability to add value. But then once you've done that, grab the final sheet, which is purpose, and begin writing things down about what your purpose could be in life. Because you see, I don't believe that God put any of us on this earth just so that we could occupy space and suck up the oxygen and sort of live between the bookends of when we're born and when we die. But God expects us to find what our unique passion is in order to be able to fill that global purpose of impacting our world and leaving the world a better place than it was when we arrived. So if you'll do that as your homework, if you'll take some time, I will tell you it is a simple process, but it's not easy because it requires us to dig down inside ourselves and really find out what's important to us in life. Jonathan?
Correct. Yeah, Gary, very interesting. And what really strikes me is, if you really have purpose, as we put here, why do you do what you do? It really gives you that kind of direction, because remember, life will be, God gave this life not to be problem free, but I think, God gave this life to be problem proof if you have a purpose. Because you see, there are a lot of people who are struggling because they will say that, their life is full of problems. It's true, right? Just like a watch, right? I mean, there are watches that are really waterproof, but I believe, however your watch is made, it will be wet, just like what we say, it will be wet, but it's good that the water will not go inside the watch. So just like our lives, and without purpose, I think, Gary, I mean, you will never really see the best version of yourself. So, and that's what keeps us going, you and me. I think that's what keeps us going, because we know what we, why we do what we do.
Well,
And
not only that, but
yeah.
you hit a very, very good point there, Jonathan, and that is that life is full of challenges.
Yes.
I think that many people look at the successful people in the world, and they think that those people have somehow lived a charmed life, and that
Mhm.
they have no challenges in life. And it's not that they don't have challenges, it's that they have learned to overcome their challenges. And the
Correct.
thing that I find the real power in purpose is that I have good days, I have bad days, I have challenging
Correct.
days. But in the morning, when you roll out of bed, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, why in the world am I doing this?
Mhm.
Purpose is what gives you the answer to that question that says,
Correct.
this is why, stay focused and get out there and do your work.
Correct. Yeah, it really gives us direction. It really gives, purpose serves as our compass, right? Sometimes you will wake up, like so excited, but sometimes you will wake up as if we still want to sleep again. But purpose for me is something that will make you rise up every morning, and really be expectant and hopeful that something good is going to happen because you have a purpose. That's why, to our, like, dear friends and audiences who are watching us right now, with what Gary mentioned to us, I think that would be a very, very good start for us to maybe realign or possibly redirect, the real purpose that we have. Gary will be back. I mean, we have Nicole again. No, Nicole is with us joining. But before that, let's pause for a quick break, and then we will see them again, because I think there are some questions that are being asked, and we will answer them as we go back.
We are the Global Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship and business leadership. Headquartered in New Zealand, we have satellite offices in Melbourne, New York, Dubai, and Manila. The Global Academy New Zealand offers strategic masterclasses with our 4M proven framework that transforms mindset, develops mastery, strengthens management, and mentorship programs to sustain your organization competitive advantage. We are the Global Academy New Zealand, building leaders, leading builders. See you in class.
All right, so we're back once again, friends. You are watching Mornings with Gary here at Champ Yunka, and with us tonight and with us this morning is once again Nicole to share with us how she sees leadership purpose, or maybe we can ask her, as a leader, what she thinks is her purpose. So let's welcome once again Gary, Nicole. Hi there.
Hi. Hi again. Hi, Gary. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi,
Good
Nicole.
morning.
Good morning.
And I was asked the question. So I heard what Jonathan said. So what's my purpose? Actually, when I was listening to Gary earlier, I was thinking, what would be my answer to that kind of question? And it's pretty simple, I think, for me. It may sound cliche, but I do love what I'm doing. I do a lot of things, but all these things provide solution to people that I deal with, and I like solving problems. I guess that's the reason why I do what I do, and I continue doing it despite the many trials and difficulties that I encounter. That's my answer to that.
Excellent, excellent. And it's interesting because as
Correct.
I look at your face while you're talking, I can see the passion. I can see the passion flowing out of you.
Mhm.
And that's I think what we all want to strive for is when we wake up in the morning and we roll out of bed, do we do it with that smile that
Correct.
doesn't look at things from the standpoint. I mean, I remember when I was a young man, my father telling me, he said, if you ever roll out of bed in the morning on a consistent basis and say, oh, do I have to go do this again? He said, one of two things is wrong. You're either in the wrong field or you're working for the wrong people. And
Correct.
so being able to roll out of bed and consistently every day with an expectation that it's going to be a great day and that the problems are a part of life, that they're challenges to be solved, they're just little molehills that we have to step over. When we have that kind of attitude, it is so amazing what we can create.
Correct. Correct. So Nicole, yeah, would you like to share with us, say, your journey of really finding your purpose as a leader, as an entrepreneurial leader?
Um, I'd like to say something about what Gary mentioned. The example in which if someone wins lottery, will you still go to your office and say to your boss that I will continue doing and do this for free? I've been there. I did not win the lottery, but it's a different scenario. But I've been there in a different way. So I've been with a company that had to close down because of financial issues, but I love this company. I like what I'm doing with this company, with the people I'm working with. So I did not leave them. I stayed, even though I won't get paid, simply because I do not believe that I'm working for that company because of money. I earned a lot of things from that company, not just on the financial side, but the relationships I made with my clients, with my colleagues, and the experiences that I encountered while doing all the things that I do for the company. So I guess I do a lot of things. But if we talk about, let's say, the residential side that I do, I am able to provide a home or an investment for young couples, or for a single person who wants an investment. And that for me is a good accomplishment. I am able to help them start their lives and improve their lives even. And that for me, I think is a good purpose as to why I am doing all these things. I do all other things in life, and all these things again, I like to emphasize, solve problems, and I like doing that. I like being able to provide things that people won't get from other people. I like providing solutions to whatever problem people have. So yeah.
And
And
that's the purpose, right, Gary? That's the purpose. I mean, you know when you know why you do what you do, right?
yeah,
That's really the purpose.
and her purpose of adding value to every transaction. And Nicole, I've got to say this, one of the words that popped into my mind as you were talking about going into work not because you were being compensated, the word that came into my mind that I think is extremely powerful is integrity. You
Mhm.
have integrity as an individual, and that as leaders is something that we can never sacrifice. We have to have the integrity that says we're going to do the right thing.
Mhm.
We're going to, we're going to use that as a way to serve others and to add value. And
Correct.
ultimately, when we do, the finances will be there.
Correct. It's just the result, right? I mean, of what's going on inside your mind, inside your heart, inside what you believe in, and yeah, you really cannot say that you didn't plan for it because it was done purposely as well. I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, it was done purposely as well because and that this is your direction. Nicole,
Amazing.
anything you'd like to ask to Gary? I mean, is there anything that you'd like to ask when discussing our topic on leadership purpose?
Well, Jonathan, you asked me about my purpose. Maybe I'd like to ask the same question to both of you,
Correct.
Jonathan and Gary. So, what's your purpose? What is your why in doing whatever you're doing?
For me and some of our I hope some of our listeners will understand and embrace this. But my purpose is very, very simple. It's one statement, and that is, as I do my work, I want to live a life that is centered on Jesus Christ, and I want to have a positive impact on the lives of others so that they can live lives that are fulfilled and full of purpose.
Correct. And to add to that, Nicole, that's why Gary and I are here. I don't know if I told you, Nicole, that someone from Gary's group just messaged me on the email, right? And then I was able to reply to that person, and yeah, we share the same mission. And why I do what I do is I'm blessed. At the end of the day, I'm blessed because God gave His life to me, and the only way I can bless Him back is to give my life back to Him. You see, it means at the end of the day, for me, there's a great revelation. That's why my purpose is also to to bless God. At the end of the day, He gave His life to me, and I accepted it. It's very important that when God gave His life, when Jesus Christ gave His life to you have to accept it. Because if you don't accept it, then you're not blessed. I mean, that's my personal opinion on that. So now, having said that, I am blessed because Jesus gave His life for me, and I accepted it. The only way I can bless God back is for me to bless Him, and blessing Him is blessing others. And with this ability that
Mhm.
God gave me to coach, to share my life's testimony and all, sharing this, like 30 minutes of our time, for me, this is giving back my life for others as well. That's why that's my purpose, right? To serve others through the learnings that I have, the knowledge that I have, and to be open to learn to unlearn every single day.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you. And can I also add, because this particular part of our discussion really hits the spot. It's something that I really like, or say love, because I also agree that we weren't placed on earth, again, as Harry said, just to occupy space, or
Mm-mm.
to. I believe that if we see things the way Heavenly Father wants us to see things, then everything will be different. I don't
Mhm.
believe that we only share or preach during the times that we are in a church. I know that
Mm-mm.
we can share and do our purpose as sons and daughters of our Heavenly Father at all times, in all things, and in all places. So
every
why not
Amen.
second,
go here?
every second, every minute, every hour. Sometimes people are asking, so what's your calling? Well, at the end of the day, your calling is always calling you. So you just have to respond to that calling. You don't define calling, but you do it as it comes. You see? That's why sometimes we have to define, oh, I'm called to sing in the church. I'm called. No, no, no. Sometimes you are called, and you just ignore the calling, and that's really the purpose. So the key thing really is for leaders. First things first, you really have to ask God of what your purpose is, because some leaders are called to really help the poor. Some leaders are really called to be an inspiration in whatever industry. But let's not really do things just because we want to do it. That there must be a purpose behind it. Else, like right, Gary. Else, you will never finish that mission.
That's
Else, you'll never finish
that
the mission.
that's it, and it's very true. And there is a saying that says that our life is God's gift to us. What we make
Mhm.
of our life is our gift back to Him.
Correct.
And I think about that, and I realize that as a human, I'm imperfect. I make mistakes. I screw up a lot of things, and I learn from the mistakes that I make. But the real thing for me is, at the end of my life, when I stand before Christ, is He going to look at me and say, well done, or is He going to say, you really missed the mark?
Mhm.
There's an old friend of mine who once said, he said, "You know what my definition of hell is?" And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "The person you are one day meeting the person you could have become." And we need to constantly be becoming. We need to be striving to be like Christ. We're never going to reach that goal, but our goal is to do that. And how do we do that? As Nicole says, is it's not just a matter of going to church. It's
Mhm.
when we get our batteries recharged in church and the things that we learn, are we taking that into our everyday lives? And do people
Correct.
see that in the way we handle ourselves, in the integrity, in the love, in the caring that we have for other people, and ultimately in the value that we add to our world?
Correct. Correct. Nicole, anything else you'd like to ask? And I think we had a great day today. I know it was also a long day for you, Nicole. Sorry to get your message just now, but at least we're
It's
here,
okay.
and it's another great session.
A
We hope to
session
see you
like this-
again.
Yes, hopefully soon. In a discussion like this, really 30 minutes or even a day is not enough.
Sure.
So thank you for having me here.
Yes.
Jonathan and Gary, good morning. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole.
All right. So there you go again, Gary. Our 30 minutes had passed. A lot of learnings. And I always believe, one person at a time, one of these days, we will see that they are being transformed, and, they're living a life of purpose, which all leaders must.
Amen.
Anything to add more, Gary?
I loved the interaction with Nicole today. I love being able to have these kinds of conversations, and I just invite everybody to do the homework. Take a look at your passions, your skills, how you can add value, and begin creating your vision for that, for the purpose of your life. If there's anything at all that we can do to help, that's what Coach Jonathan and I are here for. I'm more than happy to help, as I know Jonathan is. But I pray that many people will see this and respond to it. And I just wish you all a very, very blessed day.
All right. Thank you so much, Gary. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And please go back to our previous archives of when Gary discussed about mindset and belief, and this time it's purpose. So next week, what are we going to talk about, Gary?
Next week, we're going to talk about closing the gaps between who we
Closing
are
the
and who
gaps.
we need to become.
Oh, yeah, that's another great discussion. So again, this is your Coach Jonathan, and with me is Gary Smith. You just have watched Champ, Yunka, Building Leaders.
And leading builders.
God bless you, and see you all next week.
Welcome to the Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship in this new digital economy. People from all walks of life, students, professionals, and online entrepreneurs, direct sellers, online dropshippers are now looking for innovative ways and means to maximize the power of this new digital economy and learn from home and earn from home as well. Remember that there are 3 critical success factors for you to be successful in this new digital economy. Number 1 is your entrepreneurial mindset. Number 2, your entrepreneurial mastery. And number 3 is your entrepreneurial management. 3 questions that you have to ask yourself. What are you passionate about? Number 2, what are the relative skills that you have in this new economy? And number 3, what do you think are the expectations of your partners or your clients or your customers? We at the Academy offer you valuable masterclass courses that will develop you and hone you to become a champion entrepreneur online. We want you to become a digital brand in this new economy. So click the link below and learn more about the 4 masterclass courses that we offer in entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurial management, digital entrepreneurship, and digital selling. So again, I'm your coach, Jonathan Petalver of the Academy, your training hub for entrepreneurship in this new digital economy. Welcome and see you in class.